What's up, guys? I'm here to talk to you guys about the inside zone, Kyle Shanahan, what he does to make things work, and how he's a chess master in a game of checkers. It's amazing how the 49ers have basically created a system of plays that have allowed them to be so successful that they've run everything based off of one play. Today we're going to talk about how this group of guys and how Kyle Shanahan has put together a phenomenal selection of plays, and we're going to talk about how the wide zone has basically influenced how he runs inside zone, how it's allowed him to be more successful with the most basic concept and play inside of the NFL, and not to mention to allow his team to be successful in everything that he does. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're just going to talk to you today about Kyle Shanahan and his offense, and talking about how the wide zone actually sets up the inside zone for him, and talking about how he makes everything look the same and creating different plays. So really importantly, I want to talk about two things. One, let's talk about the offensive line footwork. Let's talk about how he uses the fullback, and let's talk about how he keeps everything looking the same so that he has a better chance and opportunity to be successful with all the other plays that he sets up using the wide zone. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you straight off, and we're going to talk about the wide zone. We're going to talk about how he runs the wide zone. We're going to talk about we're just going to hit it really briefly. If you have any questions, guys, you can always go back to the wide zone videos that I have previously on the channel. But what I'm really going to hit is I'm going to show you how he uses the wide zone to truly set up the inside zone later on in the games. So what you're going to see right here is you're going to see a 4-3 cover 3 against the Carolina Panthers. And if you've watched any of the videos before, you know that Kyle Shanahan is a wide zone weak guy, and it's very important to understand that because he sets this up for later. Now, one thing you need to understand about wide zone is what he's trying to do is we're not trying to capture the edge, we're just trying to push the edge, and we're going to get vertical on our cut. So as you can see right now, he's going to run to the weak side, which means he's going to run to the right. How do we determine that? Tight end to the left. He knows he's going to go 3 to that side, which means they've declared the strength to the tight end, which means where the defensive tackle is, the nose guard is over here on the right side. So let's talk about this. As you can see, the jet motion is going to try to hold one guy. He's really just trying to hold one guy. And so the reality of it is that defensive end gets held by the tight end, not to the jet motion. The jet motion is there to hold the corner so that when the cutback happens, he's not there to make a play. So as you can see right here off the play, they're going to get nice push to width right, okay? Everything's going to get widened, and the running back's going to put his foot in the ground. He's going to get vertical. It was an 11-yard play. Now, again, talking about why do I care so much about this play, and why am I showing this not great play? What I'm showing you is how the movement on wide zones influences and sells the inside zone for later. So as you can see, wide zone combos are pretty simple. They're going to say, okay, very simply put, after this rocket motion happens, okay, that's going to bring the safety in. So that means the tackle and the guard are going to work together 55 to 25. That means that the center and the backside guard are going to work 96 to 56. That means that the left tackle and the tight end, okay, are going to work to cut themselves off. Now, you have an extra flow defender. Now, what they were trying to do with the jet motion is they're going to try to hold the corner, and they're going to try to hold the linebacker just enough to make a play. This kid's playing an inside 7 technique, so that means that tackle's going to try to move that defensive tackle, and that means that the tight end's going to try to cut that defensive end off. Okay, so it's pretty simple how it works. As you can see, the movement and flow. Running back is reading outside in, so he's reading 55 right here first. So his first read is going to be this kid right here. His second read is going to be this kid right here. Running back's going to aim at the inside for the tight end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He knows he's not going to get outside. This is his read. He's going to put his foot in the ground. He's going to get vertical, and he's going to find the next open window and get vertical right now. Now, why is this play successful? Well, look at the big wash is created, okay? The big wash is created, okay, off of the movement from the backside tackle, moving. They're just going to push everything up. Notice that all the linebackers are taken care of, and the defensive end are taken care of. The only guy left is Kuechly. Now, Kuechly is going to be held. You can watch. Notice that Kuechly holds himself because of that jet motion. Notice that he widens himself and he stays true to, and he's afraid of a leak out right here. So when the cutback happens, the cutback is created because of the overflow from the jet motion and the wide zone to this weak side. Now, he ends up making the play because there was one too many guys at the point of attack, but the reality of it is that guy was held just enough by the jet motion. Again, I'm showing you this because you can look at this for flow. So let's move to the Seattle Seahawks. So again, talking about how this works. Again, so we've talked about it before. Now, talking about strength and weakness, and strength and strong side, weak side. Strong side is going to be up to the left. The 3 shade right here has declared himself. He's going to be the strength, so declared strength to the 2 receiver side. Okay, weak side is going to be the right, which means they're going to run this ball to the right. Now, inside zone is going to be a little different. Okay, we're going to try to create the same exact motion. We're going to try to create the same exact flow, except we're going to hit this thing tighter, and we're not going to get vertical and look for an actual cutback as opposed to a cut vertical. So why is this play successful? Now, notice the tight end comes into the play off the end here because he's here to take care of that defensive end. Because again, for the most part, these guys are there because they want to. They need to have somebody to account for the defensive end in inside zone because nobody's holding that guy, and the path of the running back is not wide enough to be able to hold that guy accountable. Now, the next thing, he's going to send the fullback in what he calls Joe motion. He's going to send that Joe guy, he's going to send Joe over, okay? And he's going to send him what would be called a Joe motion because a lot of the times they're in this motion, they're either running toss or wide zone that direction. Notice that the linebackers flow over, which is exactly what we want because we want them to push so we can get behind them. Now notice how this all works. You get a nice clean path by the running back. Okay, now how do you tell the difference? Watch his footwork. Notice that he takes a shuffle step and gets downhill by his 3rd step. That's how you tell the difference between wide zone and inside zone, especially in the backfield. Look at the running back steps. So again, if you look at his step right here, all he's doing is he's getting horizontal shuffle, crossing over, and getting downhill. So again, fullback goes 3 steps to the strong side and to the play side, and he comes back and he cuts that defensive end off. Now, why is this play successful and why is it so entertaining that the wide zone set this up? Well, let's talk about this before. You know they're wide zone, so you know he's going to try to push everything to the left right here. So again, go back to the combos. Now I want to show you how the inside zone combos works. So what I find interesting right here is you're going to get a solo block here, you're going to get a solo block here. Your first combo is now going to be your center and your backside guard are going to work to 54. Okay, your defensive end, your tackle is going to wash him down, and so this defensive end is taken care of by the Joe motion into the slice, which means that this guy no longer has to try to cut him off because in inside zone you can't wash him down. You have to try to cut him off. So he's going to actually arc release outside, which is good for him, and he's going to arc release and try to get to 50 and try to wash him down. So what's the running back reading? Well, normally the running back would read probably 56 to 93. Now the running back is reading the first interior D lineman. So this guy right here is the running back's read. If you watch his eyes, he stays on him the entire time. He shuffles, crosses over, gets downhill. Notice where his eyes are at right now. His eyes are on 97. He wants to see if this kid gets hooked or if this guy gets pushed by. If he gets pushed by on his 5th step, he's going to put his foot in the ground. He's going to find his cutback and he's going to go. Notice you have a beautiful double team by the left guard and the left tackle right here on the number on the 3, working to the front side linebacker 54, and you have the arc release by Kittle, which is a really good arc release. He's going to get outside, he's going to find 50 and try to wash this thing down so that the running back is there to take care of business. Notice how the running back shuffles. Notice the heavy flow by the defensive line. The reality of it is these guys are basically blocking themselves by staying gap sound. Now the right guard does a terrible job of being too wide. He's got too much hip displacement. Notice there's too much separation right here. He's trying to get toes to toes and try to get his hips on his hips and try to roll his hips so that he can stay on that guy. Now, notice how the cut happens right here. Really, truly what I find interesting is watch the Joe motion. Watch how the Joe motion moves these linebackers over, which allows for this easy path and for this easy movement, okay, and for the offensive line for the 49ers to have success on inside zone without having to truly physically move somebody against their will. Okay, so let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. Let's talk about how they do it again. So this is a big formation they run wide zone out of. They also run toss out of. So if you guys ever paid attention to anything I've said before, something that's very important right now, that he wants to run wide zone. He wants to run wide zone to the weak side. That means he also wants to run inside zone to the weak side because he just likes the way it works. Well, again, they've set a tight end to the closed side right here, which means they've set their strength to this guy. Notice the shade on the nose and the center is going to declare his strength. So that means that these guys are going to be shaded to that side, so their strength is going to be to the right, which means this play is going to go to the left. Now, Inside zone here is a pretty easy play to determine how it happens, and here's what we're going to do to show you how this happens. So I'm going to show you how the flow happens. Notice the running back, the fullback gets a nice cutback on the slice, and there's your play. Now, let's explain how this works. Number one, they've declared. Watch the center come out of the huddle. This is very important for you to see. The center comes out of the huddle and he declares 93 the mic, which means that's the first combo that the center and backside guard are going to work to. 93 is the guy that they're going to work to, even though 50 is actually playing over the top of him. So, easy predication on what's going to happen right here. You need to know that, number one, your offensive tackle is going to get a solo block on 51. Your offensive guard is going to get a solo block on 96. Okay, so at that point in time, calling the mic out, number 93 is going to determine where that guy's going to go. That means the guard and center are going to work these two for those two, and that means that these two right here are going to work these two for these two. Okay, that's easy. All he did was predicate the mic. He's our first combo. There's your first combo right here. So the center is going to really be working to this guy right here. Okay, notice that the backside tackle and tight end are going to be working to that linebacker right here. Now, why is that important to know? Well, it's because if you've noticed that all the wide zone, these guys flow hard over the top. These guys stay gaps down to that side of the flow. So if you take a look, that means that this guy, that the fullback, again, what makes this play so good is notice that he's going to push 2 steps like he's running wide zone, and then he's going to put his foot in the ground, and he's going to get back to that outside linebacker, the first guy outside the in-man line of scrimmage. Now, why is that important that he takes those 2 steps? Well, there's a couple things. Number one, these linebackers and defensive ends are taught if they see a down block, they're going to squeeze this thing right now, looking for a cut, looking for something to come cut them off. So their eyes are immediately going to go to the fullback. If they see a down block and that fullback is stepping away, then those guys are going to get into chase mode and they're not going to be ready to take on a cut block very well. So as you can see how this works, watch how it happens. All right, left tackle takes himself on. Left tackle does a great job. He runs to that guy. He gives a nice wide zone look. Left guard gives a nice wide zone look, gets his head play side nipple, and that's pretty good, pretty successful opportunity. Now watch the 2 combos happen. So now you have 2 combos. You've got a combo here to here, and you got a combo here to here. You have one guy who's unblocked, and that's this cat daddy right here. That's on the running back to beat. Okay, be your own block when it comes to him. Remember, running back, talking about inside zone, running back is actually going to be reading the nose guard. Nose guard gets pushed by. He puts his foot in the ground on his 5th step. All right, on 2, 3, 4, 5. Always on his 5th step, he puts his foot in the ground. He finds the first easy path he can find. 31 over pursues the backside. Notice how 93 fills the open window because he sees that wide zone lead, so he's going to try to fill now. And notice that 50 is going to scrape hard and then see it too late and try to get back over the top. By then, he's already getting attacked by the tight end, getting walled off. Running back puts his foot in the ground, you get yourself a play. So, why am I talking about it? Why it's so important? Again, Shanahan is he's a really interesting play caller because he uses the wide zone to set up the rest of his offense. Inside zone, he runs trap, he runs power, and he runs some counter based and predicated on how he runs wide zone. Remember, we talked about, if you looked at the video before, we talked about boot, and really I want to show you guys how everything else that he does predicates itself off the next play and how it's a big chess match that he's playing and what makes him so entertaining as a play caller. Guys, if you like anything, please feel free to subscribe, hit the button, hit the like button. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Tell your friends I appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you so much for everything. What's